Welcome. Is it this one? Welcome to episode 3 of FanDumb. Today we're welcomed. We're welcoming
Yes.
the commissioner
Dude, you're crushing
of
me.
Roast Battle League, which I was number 10 in the world, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Roast Battle League, Pat Barker,
Hey.
comedian, artist, commissioner.
Thank you.
Pat, welcome to the sports fandom show.
Thank you. And by the way, to add to your credits, and this connects to the sports angle of it. This year, the roast battle season starts March 1st. We are doing for the first time ever a roast battle fantasy league.
Whoa.
And I've been putting together the draft guide, and this guy projected first round pick, number 6 overall in the world in terms of fantasy roast battle.
Is it, are you guys doing Dynasty where you just have to hold them for their career? Because if so, dude, I got John for like 7 more
Oh
years.
yeah, he's way higher than well. The thing about the roast battle league, is they're comics, so a lot of them are in danger of dying at literally any point.
Totally.
So a futures league is really, really risky.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's where the fun comes in. You're like, God, do I trade him now, before 35, or after? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's great. Yeah, I know. We're glad to have a commissioner as our first guest. We were thinking, we were trying to get Roger Goodell, but might as well go with the Roast Battle League instead. So
Not a
Oh,
bad
I
plan
didn't even
B.
think about that. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. We have a sports world commissioner.
literally, and they're doing fantasy. I mean, DraftKings. Where are you? Okay.
That's true.
We've been asking for this for 2 episodes. We need sponsors.
All right, we have a lot to get into. Should we just hop right in?
Yeah, it was a big week in sports this week.
Big week in sports. Huge trade in LA. Los Angeles.
Yes.
Kelsey Plum to the Sparks. Cue the music. There's no music. But Kelsey Plum to the Sparks
Yes.
from the Vegas Aces.
Yeah.
And I'm officially, I know we discussed this on the podcast before. I was debating between the Indiana Fever and because I went to high school with Katie Lou Samuelson, known small forward on the Indiana Fever.
You're the only person who's not actually on the team who can name a non-Caitlin Clark player. That was psychotic.
I meant to tell you, we're a WNBA podcast.
I love it.
Yeah.
Dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
So she, but now I'm officially LA Sparks all the way, baby.
Wow.
Official.
This was probably like the biggest decision there's ever been basketball related.
Yeah, I think I should have
Scrap
done it.
LeBron's Miami decision.
Exactly.
John Luna, WNBA fan, LA Sparks.
I'm taking my fandom talents to Los Angeles, and really, and then you know what cemented it?
Huh.
You know what cemented it? I don't know if we know this. So last night I did a comedy show, and I'm up there, and I look in the front row, and who do I see in the front row? Who I think Cameron Brink is at my comedy show in
Whoa.
Santa Monica.
Whoa.
And then I go up to her after the game, pull up the picture, Cameron. I go up to her after the game. She goes, "Oh, you were so funny. I loved you." And then I'm like, "Can I take a picture with you?" She's like, "Yes, I'm a huge fan." And then she goes, "I got to get you out to a game." She followed me on Instagram.
No
and she
way.
invited me to an
Wow.
LA Sparks game
Look at you.
when she starts playing again.
Is she taller than you?
Yeah, look at the picture.
I know,
Bro. She's
but like,
so
was
tall.
that with heels or that's just her?
I stood on the stage as well to
No shit.
try to be taller than her.
I've never seen you look so small.
Yeah,
Right?
same.
You're a big man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you,
Yeah.
6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah. What was your
6'3"
first
big
clue that
guy.
it was a WNBA star? The fact that she was a 7-foot tall woman?
Oh, I
in
knew
the
it was
front row?
Cameron Brink right away. I knew who it was.
Oh, so you could just pick her out of a lineup.
Yeah, and I didn't even know who it was. Cameron was there, so feel free to talk. But I didn't even know who it was, or I didn't know who it was, but I didn't know she was there. So I got on stage and I clocked her during my set, which this was like, I guess to give some context, the show was like specifically a show where they were gonna like tape the set, and there was
Okay.
like a 4-camera setup. It was like they're like, do your best stuff, bet like really good tape. It's gonna be really cool. So like I was like, okay,
So
like
of course what you did is you talked to Cameron Brink for 15 minutes. You're like,
no,
this
it's
will go
just that I
viral.
immediately clocked her, and I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, I'm trying to do this set, and I'm like, that's Cameron Brink right in the front row.
Yeah.
And
Did any comic pivot to like really shitty crowd work? Like, so what do you do for a living, ma'am?
a lot of people made fun of her friend who had like this weird fuzzy hat. I was like, okay, this is pretty bold to talk about her fuzzy hat. But yeah. But no, I clocked her, and then after the show, she stood up, and she was so much taller than every person. It was crazy. So then I was like, okay, that's definitely her.
Wow, that's crazy. And you're going to go to an LA Sparks game. You got to hit her up.
Yeah, she followed me.
Yeah.
Go to the next picture. Okay, I guess you guys believe me, but...
Screenshot the follow.
I don't believe you.
Wow.
Also, screenshotted it 26 seconds.
I
Also, the immediate
know.
screenshot.
Staring at your phone and waiting.
Well, I was kind of like, I am not even... Well, because we were talking, and then she's like, I'll follow you. So I went on to, like, unfollow, refollow.
Yeah.
And then I, like, didn't click follow, so she couldn't find it, and it was stressful. But we got it. We got it done. We got it done. We got the follow.
That is so for 26 seconds. 2 seconds longer than the shot clock, I realized. Change of possession right there. Wow, look at you, John, making waves. Cameron Brink, LA Sparks,
friend of the show,
certified.
Friend of the show. We'll get her on the show soon.
Yeah.
When she she started her own podcast. You sent me that clip.
And, yes.
But yeah, so this is huge for us, and for me.
Yeah.
Gotta get her jersey up in here. You can finally get rid of Kevin Cobb.
No, Kevin Cobb stays. Excuse you.
Karl Malone on the Lakers. I'm saying there's a lot of replaceable material in this studio.
The Karl Malone on the Lakers was bold to cement it right next to John Stockton too. It's a little fuck you we got going on.
Okay, so I just kind of wanted to start off with that, but
yeah, no,
I think that was big news.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that came out of LA this week.
Right, yeah.
Nothing else happened. Oh, wait. Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
Yeah, Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
Top 5 NBA player right now, traded for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. What a mistake. Right?
What? I mean, I don't think it's a mistake. As a Lakers fan, I think this is huge. I'm super hyped.
Yes.
I love Luka. Luka was the only player that I was following on Instagram that wasn't on the Lakers.
Do you follow every Lakers player?
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, now you have Cameron Brink too.
Yeah, dude, I'm in right now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You're really in.
Luka, I mean, this is crazy. Luka was traded because of fat phobia.
Really? You think? Yeah. That's the reason they looked at him? There were rumors that Luka was getting too fat, that he was pushing 270 pounds.
Yeah.
So the Mavericks had to get off of that immediately. You know, a Dallas 270 is like an LA 350. So.
But he's gonna come to LA and lose weight. He's not gonna be surrounded by brisket like everywhere he goes.
Like he's gonna be like, oh, they have salads here, like tender greens. What is this?
It was objectively like one of the dumbest trades I've ever seen. I can't justify it in any way, to the point where like immediately I became a conspiracy theorist, and I was like, oh, he fucked somebody's wife.
There are many conspiracies.
Because if you look at it on its surface, none of it makes sense. He took them to the finals last year.
Yeah.
Last year. And they say, oh, well, you know, he's not, his conditioning's not good enough. So you traded for a guy who literally can't stay on the court?
Yeah. I mean, you know, AD's name, AD, after Doncic now. That's what the Mavericks are going to be defined by. Post-Doncic era. It's not good. I was thinking, you got to think big brain on this, because the Adelsons bought the team from Mark Cuban. They own like a 70% share.
You're on this conspiracy theory? You're on the Vegas conspiracy
theory? I'm going to
theory?
take this one step farther. The Adelsons donated $100 million to Trump. Trump this week comes out, it's like, you know what, we're gonna take over Gaza. Mavericks moving to Gaza in 3 years.
Okay.
Calling it right now.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bold
yes.
bold guess. Bold guess.
I don't hate that theory.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It makes more sense than we think we're a better team with AD than we were with Luka.
Right?
The Gaza thing holds more water than... And you get one first? They got 4 firsts for Rudy Gobert. I
know. I mean, literally, Mikal Bridges was 5 first-round picks from the Knicks this year.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that Luka coming to the Lakers cements the Lakers. You know, I mean, he's the best player. The Lakers are the best team, and that's that.
This is what I hate. As a non-LA, can I give you a perspective on why you suck and all your people suck?
Okay.
There's been this permeating feeling since the moment I got to LA. I've never seen anything like it, where Lakers fans feel like they are entitled to the best players.
Yes.
And there's a little bit of it in New York, too, but it's more delusional. Because Knicks fans will be like, who wouldn't want to come here and play in the Garden?
Yeah.
Come on. It's like, you
Yeah.
guys haven't won shit in 60 years.
That's psychotic.
Yes.
But Lakers fans are like, everybody wants to be us. Everybody wants to play here. And they just feel like the best players in the world will fall into their lap. And it's hard to argue with them because that's what consistently... They traded for Kareem. They traded for Wilt. They traded for Shaq. They traded for LeBron. Now they traded for Luka. And it's like it's way more egregious than the Chris Paul trade that got vetoed. This is so much worse.
It is worse.
Yeah.
And Lakers fans they continue to be so obnoxious because they feel like they are entitled to Luka, like the universe owes Luka to the city.
Yeah.
I think that that basketball owes it to the universe to give us Luka. I don't think anyone owes the Lakers anything.
But basketball.
I just think the entity that is basketball, in general, owes it to the universe.
Well,
for Luka to play in the purple and gold. I knew that Luka was gonna come to Lakers. I didn't know it was gonna be like this.
You knew it, just deep down.
The moment he entered the league, yes.
Oh my God, I despise that because that is exactly what Pat just talked about. Complete delusion.
It's not delusion if it happens.
If it happens every time,
it
it's no
happen.
longer delusion. It's just annoying.
It is really annoying.
We've consistently had the best player. We've had the best player on our team.
For the most part.
For the past whatever years.
Oh, yeah, for the most part. Completely agree with you. And
Kareem to Magic.
Yeah.
To Shaq. To Kobe. To LeBron.
Big gap there between Kobe and LeBron. But
couple years.
Still, it's the part that aggravates me more than anything is it's like the same teams that were good when I was a kid continue to be the smartest teams now. You have the Lakers making a great trade, and then you have the Spurs as well with Victor Wembanyama getting De'Aaron Fox at the deadline, and it's like, okay, you just paired him with a great point guard too. Like what else is there? I absolutely hate it. I'm a Suns fan, and we did nothing.
Could be worse. You could be a Bulls fan.
You could be a Bulls fan. At least you could be a Bulls fan. That is worse. But the Bulls have won rings. They've had 6 championships. Zero in the entire history of the Phoenix Suns organization. 0 rings.
Honestly, I just think it's crazy that anyone is trading the Lakers ever. Because I saw this thing that was like the Lakers, every time that they've traded for a superstar, the Lakers have won 12 championships directly from trading. Like we got a championship with AD, we got a championship with Kobe, the Kareem championships. And whenever we trade someone to the other team, 0.
And here's the part that's so upsetting if you're just like a neutral basketball fan or certainly like a Mavericks fan. The NBA exists in a world now where like players control their own destiny. And when this happened, my first thought was like, Luka must have gone to them and been like, I want out and I will only go to the Lakers. Then you find out not only he didn't want out, they could have traded him to 28 other teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
They only engaged with one team and apparently took the first offer that was presented to them.
I know.
Like if they had opened up Luka, if they had just been honest about the whole thing and been like, he's on the block, they would have gotten 3 times the return that they got from the Lakers.
You had teams literally like cashing in on assets over the years to accumulate draft picks for this exact kind of trade.
Yeah.
And the Lakers cash in because they kept a secret. Like this is literally, I don't know. It's insane. It's like
You guys act like AD and Kyrie isn't going to be really good. Come on.
AD's hurt already.
AD's tall and Kyrie's dribbling it. So, like, they'll be good.
Oh, my God.
They'll be fine. Why are you complaining?
I'm complaining because the other thing
We're bad. We don't have defense.
No, the other thing...
That's not wrong.
Yeah.
I could see this not being the best fit.
But the other thing is LeBron, since the trade's been announced, like the day of the trade against the Knicks,
LeBron's
30-point triple-double,
yeah.
and he puts up another 30-point triple-double against the Clippers, and then drops 40 and 15 against the Warriors 2 nights ago. It's like LeBron has just gotten to another level at this point, at 40. I didn't think it was going to be possible. And if he's doing this, and you add Luka, it's like, okay,
youngest player with 40
quit
point
the
game.
NBA.
Youngest player with a 40-point game and oldest player with a 40-point game.
Luka and
LeBron.
No,
LeBron.
Oh,
Both
wow.
LeBron.
Wow.
Do you see that?
I did not see that.
That's crazy.
That's one thing I'll say in the midst of all my anti-Lakers hatred. LeBron is the most underappreciated player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so amazing how people get so tethered to Michael Jordan that they're, and even if you want to say Jordan's the best and LeBron is second or third, wherever you want to put him.
Sure.
There are people who spend their whole lives refusing to appreciate the fact that they're seeing something absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I'll never understand whether it's LeBron or Ohtani or whatever these like once in a lifetime guys are. Like, just shut up and enjoy it.
I'm telling you, I'm starting to get into that pool just for clout on the internet. I'm chasing it. I'm gonna be a LeBron hater as long as I can. Give me 15 likes on a tweet. Oh, I'll do it today.
It's that what is it called? Oh my god. Just like he's been so good for so long, you get tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's a generational talent that's now spanned a generation plus. Like it's literally been more than 20 years of LeBron being the best basketball player on planet Earth.
I mean, I'm fully behind the Lakers now, especially with the trade for that center.
Mark Williams.
See, I don't even know them,
Yeah.
but
that center.
I mean, I already bought a Luka jersey.
Yeah.
But Mark Williams, he's gonna. I'm fully on LeBron is the strongest narrative, and you know me, I love my narratives. The strongest narrative in the NBA to me is the Lakers championship at this point.
Well,
because of Luka and because LeBron winning with his son.
I'm gonna
getting your son a ring, even though he's dog shit, I get it. Sure, Bronny sucks. But like winning a ring with your son, maybe that will finally surpass
Jordan?
Yeah.
No.
Well, he'll have 5 and then Bronny's ring.
Oh, so 6? You added in. It's grandfather.
Counts for 2.
Yeah.
That would be cool because they're like Bron definitely a better father than Michael Jordan. Everyone overlooks that aspect of the narrative.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's kid got arrested this weekend.
The day that Bronny made his first NBA 3, Marcus Jordan got arrested for cocaine possession, like DUI or something.
Yeah. So
Michael Jordan also got his father killed.
Oh, ooh, that is another take. LeBron's father.
That's what I heard. I don't know. It was on Reddit. I figured.
I also have personal beef with Marcus Jordan because when I used to buy sneakers a lot, he owns this store, and obviously he gets all the best ones.
Yeah.
And he would just like their store was known for backdooring and like buying the shoes and then reselling them, and like the public wouldn't be able to get their hands on them. Anyway,
does Michael Jordan's kid have some sort of inside connection to the sneaker industry?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, he's got Michael Jordan.
I thought you were throwing an alley-oop. Little did I know you had already dunked the ball. Okay. Move on.
Wait, what? Okay, so what? Who's your basketball team, Pat?
Sixers.
The Sixers. Okay, why? Oh, so here's what we do with guests.
Explain it. Yeah.
So we'll go through basketball, football, and baseball, but I figure we'll just go through the news and then we'll go deep dive into you. And then so you say your favorite team, why they're your favorite team.
Yep.
I mean, could be obvious, whatever. And then a story from when you're a kid, maybe, or like a credit, like why you deserve to be a fan of this team. Don't know why you'd want to be a fan of the Sixers, but and then like something from now that's going on.
So basketball, Sixers. Why? Because I'm from Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of what you do.
Yeah.
And a story. So I'm a big Embiid guy. Okay. Of course, I was a big Barkley kid, and then an Iverson teenager, and then now an Embiid adult.
Yeah.
And I went to a game he played against the Lakers out here back in 2017 or something, where he put up I'm pretty sure it was 46, 15, 7 and 7 was the line. 46 points, 15 boards, 7 assists, and 7 blocks.
Oh, I thought it was 7 knee injuries. My bad.
Fuck you. You invite me here and then say that to me. How dare you? This is why Candace Brink doesn't follow you. Because you're mean. No, so I was at that game, and it was like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. And then a year later, I was in New York City writing for the Sports Illustrated Awards, and they were giving an award to Embiid. I forget what the award even was.
Yeah.
And it was being presented by Questlove from The Roots.
Okay.
So I got to write a very Philly-centric speech from Questlove to give this award to Joel Embiid. And then afterwards, and I never, when I work on something, I try to be very professional. And up until that point, I had never asked a celebrity for a picture because I'm on the clock. Yeah. And I was like, this is the one time I'm going to break it. I'm gonna ask him. So the event ends, and I'm like standing there. I'm like all nervous, and Embiid is talking to this kid who won the Sports Illustrated Kid of the Year. This little like adorable like 10-year-old peewee football player, and Embiid is like has this big smile on his face, and he's talking to him, and I'm sitting over there like just a sad 30-something-year-old dude. Like, I love this man, and I have to meet. And he finishes with the kid, and then I approach him, and he could not have been more bummed out. He was so fucking bummed. And but like while I was waiting for him, I was standing next to his mom.
Yeah.
And I was worried that she would judge me. So like I started talking to somebody next to me loud enough for his mom to hear, trying to like establish my own fandom. I'm just like, yeah, I went to his game in LA where he had 46, 15, 7, and 7. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I'm a big Sixers fan. Anyway, I got the picture. He looks pissed in it. He was pissed. It's an accurate picture. And I regret nothing.
Damn. That is cool that you did get to write a speech, because if I ever got to do that, I would just steal anything from Rocky immediately. Just throw it right up there. But that's awesome. That is a great story.
Thank you.
If you have the picture, we would love that, because I would love to
I do. Can you add it
in?
in post, or do I have to find it right now?
No, I'll edit it.
I'll text it. I'll text it
Because
to
that'd
you
be
after.
sick. Yeah. Damn, that is very funny.
I also have, if you have time, a really quick Kobe Bryant story from Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
So Kobe
high school.
grew up in Philadelphia, went to high school at Lower Merion. I went to the last Sixers game ever at the Spectrum, which was the previous arena. So I want to say this is like, and my timeline might be off, but I want to say it was like 95. Whatever it was, Kobe was like a senior, because he got drafted in 96. Yeah. So he was like, everybody knew who he was, because he was going to go straight to the NBA. And afterwards, it was the last game at the Spectrum, so they had a bunch of Sixers legends there, like Dr. J and, Moses Malone, people like that, going to some like banquet dinner after the game. And I was with my uncle and my mom, and there was a spot where you could see the people walk by and try to get like an autograph or whatever. And Kobe Bryant came out. Nobody knew he was there.
Wow.
And everybody recognized him, and there were probably a few hundred people, and they were like, Kobe, Kobe. And everybody else walked by, and they just like waved to the crowd and kind of kept it moving. Kobe stopped, and the Spectrum had these stairs leading up to it from the outside, kind of like the Rocky steps, not quite as many.
Yeah.
And everybody mobbed him, and I swear to God, Kobe, he went, whoa. He's like, I'll sign for everybody, but you got to calm down. He's like, everybody form a line. And he sat on those steps and signed every autograph for at least like 2 hours.
Wow.
It was crazy. And I'm sure once he got to the NBA and he got bigger, like he couldn't do that anymore. But seeing him in high school, he signed everybody. So I had a ticket stub from the last game at the Spectrum signed by like 18-year-old Kobe Bryant, and I have no idea where it is.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
It's gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't
Lost
take good
forever.
care of it. But
that's still incredible, though. Because Kobe, man of the people, albeit wherever he was, like even when they went to China, like for the Olympics in 2008, huge applause. Everyone was there for Kobe.
Yeah, dude.
He like clearly an outsized influence. That's very cool to hear.
Yeah.
But
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you got to experience that, and I love that we're here to get today together.
And that my Sixers fandom story ended up being a Lakers story for you. You're welcome.
Hey, per usual, anything to feel the Lakers' needs.
Even my fandom got traded in the middle of the story.
Yeah, I feel like even you didn't want to talk about the Sixers at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a hard season so far. But if we're talking about hard seasons in Philadelphia, I don't know what I was thinking of the segue there, but
Are you gonna bring up the Phillies?
I was gonna bring up the Phillies
Yeah.
for sports, if that's okay. Because
Sure.
clearly rocking the
let's
Philly City Connect hat.
Yeah, let's go to baseball.
Yeah, because unfortunately right now, not tons of news in baseball. I saw Jason Hayward signed with the Padres, but not a lot going on in baseball right now. Just gearing up for spring training. Obviously, the Dodgers are stacked. And
Pete Alonso back to the Mets.
Pete Alonso did go back to the Mets.
Mets.
Thank you. So the Mets got Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, and then rounded out their rotation. Phillies, pretty quiet offseason.
Very quiet offseason.
Are you mad about that?
I'm bummed. It's hard to be mad when they have been spending.
Yeah.
Like they have been trying to win, and they went out and got Harper and Real Muto and Zach Wheeler and all those guys, and they sunk a lot of money into it. So they still have a high payroll.
Yep.
And I understand there has to be a line somewhere. It is just a bummer because you're like, I don't think this team is good enough to win it all. They're good, but they're, and if everything breaks right, they got a great rotation and, whatever. And living in LA doesn't help where the Dodgers are literally just, getting whoever they want. Like that makes it a little bit more painful. But no, I was more bummed than it's hard to be mad at them. There's been a lot of Philadelphia teams in my lifetime that I could be angry at. This is not really one of them.
At least they're trying. I will say every time that like the Phillies have won a World Series, huge recession immediately afterward.
Yeah.
So I'm saying thank God the Dodgers are willing to spend because the last thing we need is a recession.
It's actually a really good point.
Yeah, we can't let the Phillies win another World Series. I have too much wrapped up in crypto right now. We can't let that happen. Bitcoin to the moon, baby.
So you were saying that baseball is like your number one?
Yeah.
The Phillies?
Big time.
Where does the love for the Phillies come from?
It's always been my favorite sport, and they were always just kind of like my favorite team, just growing up in Philly. And they weren't good when I was a kid at all. They had the one magical season in '93 where they went to the World Series, and then Joe Carter hit the walk-off.
It's Blue Jays, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, it was a really, really dark time. But, it was my favorite sport, and that was the local team, and you just kind of rooted for them. And, tough times build character. And then when they finally did win it in '08, I think it meant that much more. And everybody clowns on the Dodgers, but I'm sure not winning since '88.
Oh my God.
Made it mean more when you guys won, right?
Yeah, in the COVID shortened season, totally. 2020, meant so much.
Yeah, right.
No, but this year did mean a lot, I think, for Dodger
definitely.
fans. Yeah. But no, that is crazy because it was like having that huge gap where you're super competitive, or even if you're not competitive, and then to finally break through and you're like, my God, like this is everything I had hoped for and more to actually win a ring with Cole Hamels. That was a fun team.
Oh, dude.
Ryan Howard, Chase Utley.
It was the best, and I had season tickets back then. The first 10 years of Citizens Bank Park before I moved out here, I had like 34 games worth of tickets. So I went to a lot.
That's sick.
So yeah, I definitely, that whole team, I just fell in love with that roster.
Yeah, that was a great roster. Very fun team, very exciting team.
Yeah.
What do you have obviously, I mean, I feel like you got your credits down, but any crazy story you have or crazy Phillies experience?
I mean, I have a really crazy one. The story's going to take a minute. I don't know if you guys have.
We're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
We got time.
I've told this story on a couple other podcasts, so you might have heard it. I don't know. Did you hear about the time I gave an Uber ride to Lenny Dykstra?
No.
You're not familiar with this?
No, I have never heard this.
It's my favorite thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay, yes.
So, it was 2019. It was leading into the World Series. So it's October 2019.
Okay.
Astros are getting ready to play the Nationals. Yeah. It's a Monday night. I'm out Uber driving. It's very slow, not getting a lot of ride requests or whatever. And by the way, to anyone who doesn't know how Hollywood works, yes, you can write for the Sports Illustrated Awards and then go back home and Uber drive. That is very much how the industry works. You work once every 4 or 5 months if you're lucky, and you feel really important, and then you have a family to feed, and you're like, well, I guess I got to suck it up and get in the fucking Prius, right?
Yeah.
So I'm driving around, and I'm in Beverly Hills, and I get a ride request from a guy named Kyle, with a kind of a lower rating, but it was a slow night, and I'm like, beggars can't be choosers, right? So I answer this ride.
Sorry, can I ask?
Please do.
What's a low rating for an Uber rider?
For a passenger, anything below 4.8 is a little bit.
Yeah, I'm right on the border.
Yeah, mine is 4.7.
I know.
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit.
Yeah, that's so.
That's
funny.
a little bit. Yeah, it's in the. I think this was a 4.5.
Okay.
So it's clearly there have been some bad reviews.
There have been some bad
reviews.
Check
Yelp and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. But I'm like, what am I gonna do? Not take it and not make any money.
Yeah.
So I go to this house in Beverly Hills, and Kyle is sitting on the front lawn when I pull up.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he gets in the car, and older guy, and he's wearing all black hat, black jacket, black sunglasses at night, the whole deal. And he sits in there, and we start driving, we start talking. We were talking about, at the time, the big story was the Lori Loughlin college admissions USC scandal.
Sure.
So we're talking about that, and and then he goes, hey, I'm making 2 stops. I got to pick up my date in Westwood, which is the address I gave you.
Yeah.
And then we're going to a restaurant in Brentwood. Can I do 2 stops? And I was like, yeah, you gotta put it in your app. And he was like, oh, I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, I'll help you if you need it, but just give it a shot. So he fumbles around for a few minutes, and then he goes, all right, I think I got it. And I looked at my app, and it was updated with 2 locations. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, you nailed it. And he goes, yeah, nice. Nailed it. Nails. Used to be a ball player named Nails. You ever heard of him? And the fact that was the most insane connection anyone could ever make didn't even occur to me.
Legit sounds like my 98-year-old grandfather talking right now.
It's absolutely it was insane. But as a diehard Phillies fan, that part of my brain clicks on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a Bryce Harper jersey at the time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh dude, I was like, you mean fucking Lenny Dykstra? I was like, dude, I grew up on the 93 Phillies. That was my team.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I grew up in Philly. That was my first team I fell in love with. He's like, oh, man, that's great. He's like, yeah, Lenny Dykstra, dude. That guy was awesome. And I was like, yeah, he was incredible. It's a shame he turned into such a fucking piece of shit. That was the first thing I said. And he goes, did he? He goes, I haven't heard about that. And I was like, oh yeah, dude. I was like, he's on drugs. He's always going to jail. At the time, he was getting ready to celebrity box the Bagel Boss. Remember that 4 foot tall guy?
Yes.
So I was like, oh yeah, dude. He's fucking awful. And he goes, I think some of that stuff is made up. Have you ever read his book? And I'm like, I don't need to read his book. He fucking sucks. So he goes, so this is the part where he could have seriously murdered me, knowing Lenny Dykstra. But instead he decided to let it go, and he was just like, yeah, hell of a ball player though. And I was like, oh, dude, he was one of the best. And I started rattling off these stats from 93, and I checked afterwards, and I was within 5 on everything. I was like, oh, dude, I was like, he had 140 walks. He scored 140 runs. He had 420 on base percentage. He was like, oh, remember the one game in the World Series where he hit 2 home runs? I'm like, yeah, but they still lost fucking 15-14. It was one of the craziest games ever. And he was like, yeah. And so we're going back and forth, just talking about how great Lenny Dykstra was. Me and little did I know Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah.
And I finish talking about how great he is. He goes, yeah, I mean, he was great, but he was on steroids though. And I was like, oh, dude, they were all on steroids. Who gives a shit? And he's like, yeah, they were all on steroids. Who cares? So now we're just we're connecting and we're talking baseball and we're doing that thing where you have an old team and you start naming players from that team. You don't even need any more context. You could just go Mickey Morandini and you're both like, yeah.
Deep cut. Yeah.
Right. And Dave Hollins. Oh, hell yeah. So we're doing that. And he asked me, he goes, do you still watch baseball now? I was like, oh yeah. And he goes, who do you think's going to win the World Series? And I was like, I hate to say it, but I got to go with the Astros. I was like, the Nationals have the highest bullpen ERA of any team to ever make the playoffs. It's going to catch up with them eventually.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. And then he changes the subject real quick. He goes, man, wait till you see this chick that I'm picking up for this date. He goes, you got to see her. He's like, she's a genius. She speaks 7 languages. He goes, I could barely speak English. And
after her mind.
We So we pull up, dude. We pull up to this complex, and he goes, so what do I do? He's like, do I get out of the car and go to the door?
So he's asking you for advice?
Yeah, I was like, and he had told me, he's like, this is my first date with her. And I was like, well, I'm married. It's been a while since I've had a first date, but I would walk to the door. I'll wait for you. He thinks about it. He goes, nah, I'm going to stay here and talk baseball with you. He's like, I'll text her. So we're sitting there. We're talking baseball. And this woman comes out. She's about 24 years old. Just absolutely gorgeous. Whatever ethnic mix makes the most beautiful woman on earth, black and Brazilian or something. I don't know the exact math, but she's stunning, right? And she gets out and she gets into the car. And this is the point where, as the Uber driver, you turn up the radio a little bit. You shut the fuck up. You let them, hang out, right? So we start driving to Westwood, and immediately it becomes apparent that there's no chemistry. She has no interest in even being on this date. I figured out later, escort for sure. Got it, right? So he's trying to talk to her, and she's just flat out ignoring him and texting, and she's being like, She's barely even acknowledging his existence. So he panics almost right away and goes, we're going to Brentwood for dinner. you ever been to Brentwood? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, that's where the juice was loose. And I'm like, are you really bringing up the OJ murders to like to this
24-year-old?
Yeah, number one, she wasn't even alive. Number two, there's like a whole racial component. Like, you know what I mean?
God.
Like, you're very white and she's very not. And she's just like, okay, juice, yeah. She had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. So he goes right back to talking to me about baseball. There's another 10 minutes in the ride. We're just talking. It's like she's not even there. We get to the restaurant. We pull up. She gets out of the car. And he goes, hey, man, I like your style. You're the real deal. And he reaches up for a handshake, and he's behind me, so I got to, like, kind of reach back. It's awkward. And I'm shaking his hand. And I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. It was great talking with you. And he goes, he's mumbling. So I think he says, I love Lenny Dykstra. And I go, yeah, man, me too. He was great. And he goes, no. And he squeezes my hand. And he goes, I'm Lenny Dykstra. And I turn around, and he had taken the sunglasses off, and fucking Lenny Dykstra is sitting in the backseat of my Prius. And I panic, and everything runs through my head. I'm like, you called this guy a fucking piece of shit. You called him an ass, all this stuff, right? So I'm just like, oh my God, you're Lenny Dykstra. And I start freaking out. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, thank you for 1993. He goes, yeah, don't mention it. And he repeats, he goes, I like your style. You're the real deal. And he gets up and he leaves. And then he doesn't give me any tip. And then later that night,
he's taking you Uber X is in a Prius.
Yeah.
Uber black car.
Oh, no. And he's sitting on the lawn when I pick him up. There's a lot going on here. I understand the financial ruin of Lenny Dykstra. Yeah. And then, but here's the part that was unforgivable to me. Around like 3 a.m. that night, I finish my shift. I go home. I go onto Twitter. And Lenny Dykstra has posted a video from around a bonfire. And he goes, hey, everybody, it's Lenny Dykstra coming at you live from Beverly Hills, California. You know, a lot of people have been asking me who I think is going to win the World Series. I'm going with the Houston Astros. The Nationals have the highest bullpen ERA in the history. Stole my take word for word and passed it off as his own. And that part, to me, is unforgivable.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome.
That's an incredible story.
I do love how he's like, no, she speaks 7 languages. And it's like clearly has never talked before. That's so funny. But that's awesome.
My favorite part of that, and I think it just like goes down to, I think like this is like, I really identify this as like with comedians, probably with athletes as well. But like to like have you talk shit to his face, like about his personal life, and be like, fuck this guy, like whatever. And like have him like not really care, like kind of be like, oh, okay, whatever. But then to still be like, he was good though. And then you'd be like, he was good. You are right.
I saved myself the moment I knew his like 93 stats. Yeah. And I was also like, who cares about the steroids? I think that won him over.
Yes.
I do think if he hadn't been on his way to pick up an escort that he had prepaid for, I don't think I would have gotten that far. I think the moment I started talking shit, because I looked it up. The reason he's Kyle is because his actual Uber account got terminated.
No way.
Because he like threatened to pistol whip a driver and made him go like 40 miles outside of the route or whatever. There's like a crazier than my Lenny Dykstra Uber story out there. God. If you Google it. So I assume he made a fake. I found Kyle is his middle name.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's why he has that one. And I'm like, man, if he didn't have a prepaid escort and I was talking all that shit, I could have gotten killed.
Wow.
Like easily, or at least beaten up.
That's a crazy. Yeah, I mean they call them nails for a reason.
Yeah, I don't want that smoke. No way.
Jesus Christ.
No way.
No, you 100% saved yourself, and I love that though.
Yeah.
But it does come down to just like, yeah, he's funny. He's funny though. You know, he's good. He can hit the ball.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Forgivable for everything else that he did. That's crazy. That is a crazy story. I think that'll carry you very far in whatever fandom you have with the Phillies. Just start posting about it tomorrow. That's awesome.
So sick. That's so sick because he was planning that like from the moment that like
to bring
you
himself
started talking
into
about it.
Yes.
Yeah, to like to shake your hand and be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
He was planning it the moment I said you nailed it.
Yes.
The fact that he picked up on that, was like there was a ball player named Nails.
Oh my God, he was going to divert it to Lenny Dykstra no matter what.
His nicknames were Nails and the Dude.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, anytime somebody uses a variation of those two words.
Dude, when The Big Lebowski came out, he's like, they stole my nickname.
I'm sure when anyone says dude, he's just like,
There's a guy called the Dude. Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you ever heard of him? It's like, yeah, from the Big Lebowski.
Yes.
He's like, no, it was a baseball player.
Yeah. That's probably what happened to the other Uber driver. He's like, you mean the Big Lebowski? He's like, bitch, we're going. Oh, man. That's crazy. I mean, there's nothing else going on with Philly sports right now.
Yeah, let's close sports. And yeah, let's go. Let's close sports.
Other than the Super Bowl, but that's pretty.
Yeah, let's go to football.
That's a small deal, I think, for Philly, right? I mean, it's not like they have anything to do with it.
You know what? Let's watch the sports edit of the day to go into our football talk.
Wow, look at us.
Yeah, we've upgraded. We used to just watch on our phone.
This is amazing. Sorry I talk so much.
No, please.
No, that's perfect.
That's why we have a guest.
That's
so
why
we
we
don't
have
have
you.
to do anything.
Turn it up. Yeah, you just got to turn it up on the Zoom. And make sure the computer's not muted.
Sound good.
Make sure the computer's not muted.
I have
Bryson
no snare in my
Scott.
headphones.
And full screen it.
Wow.
You know, like just like on the computer, you know how on the keyboard there's like a button that has like a there you go.
Yeah, we are.
Where's the full screen button?
Just press the
That's okay.
plus,
Just play
yeah.
it.
Ooh.
Wait, play from the beginning. So that was a little Chiefs Eagles edit to Endgame to Thanos.
Man.
Thanos is Patrick Mahomes, and the Avengers are the Eagles, I guess.
I keep forgetting about how incredible the reverse hurdle was. Like, as soon as you saw it, it's like, God damn, Saquon is so good.
Yeah.
This is going to be such a fun game. You have literally the two best teams in football this year, besides arguably the Lions, barring injuries. But the Lions got super hurt. Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl literally tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so stoked about it. You got to be excited. I mean, this is the second time the Eagles have got to the Super Bowl in the last 3 years. That's huge.
Yeah.
Completely new team, too, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, my Eagles fandom was a little bit different. I hated the Eagles when I lived in Philadelphia.
Really?
Whoa.
I'm a fan now.
Wow.
Talk about
Why
this.
was it?
I mean, put really, really simply, like football's my third favorite sport. Baseball 1, basketball 2, football 3, and
Yeah.
Philadelphia is very much a football town.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I grew up as a diehard baseball fan rooting for a Phillies team that was trash.
Yeah.
And you would go to a game and it's bad enough to watch your team get pounded by the Mets or the Braves or whatever, but the fans are just chanting E-A-G, and it was like, it was all Eagles all the time. The culture in Philadelphia and a lot of Northeast towns is just sports talk radio. That's all people listen to all day.
Yeah.
And they call into it. And it was like, whether the Phillies were good or bad, whether the Sixers were good or bad, it was all just, everybody just kept talking about the fucking Eagles nonstop.
Okay.
The same way I talked about people not appreciating LeBron, they hated all the best players.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, it's 16 hours a day of like, Donovan McNabb fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Andy Reid sucks. Get rid
Yeah.
of all.
Yeah.
And like, you grow to like hate those people. But it's like, it's generally the worst of the fan base, because that's what sports talk radio wants.
Yes.
And you're just hearing it
Yeah.
and you're like, dude, I hope these people suffer, right? Like, that was legit. I didn't even have a favorite team. I just knew I wanted the Eagles to lose. I was the ultimate hater.
I respect that so much, because it's like, you guys are taking away from the things that I love to complain.
Yeah.
Ugh, good
Yeah.
Lord.
So then when do you become an Eagles fan?
So I moved to LA and I was no longer surrounded by that toxicity.
Yes.
Okay.
And it started to dissipate my hatred. And if anything, I just became like indifferent, right?
Okay.
And then when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, the Nick Foles.
The Nick Foles,
That was
yeah.
a great game.
It was a great game, and I went into it watching, being
Really
like,
special.
ugh, I don't. Who cares who wins? Because it's like, I'm not going to root for the Patriots. You know,
Sure.
it's disgusting. And as the game went on, and it was such a great game, I found myself rooting for the Eagles for the first time in my life, and I felt
Wow.
fraudulent. And I was like, you cannot enjoy this victory.
Yeah.
You have not earned it. You have not done any of the suffering that would allow you to earn it, because I feel pretty strongly about some bandwagon type of stuff.
Totally.
Okay.
But the heart wants what it wants. And I found myself kind of rooting for them. And when they won, I didn't jump up and down and celebrate, and it didn't change my life the way it did for
one of those
so many Eagles fans. But like, I was just like nodding and smiling and being like, yeah, I'm proud of you boys, you know? And it was like, I felt like the Grinch who stole Christmas. Like my heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then the next day I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what being an Eagles fan kind of feels like.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy that Super Bowl the way other people did, but I'm going to get on board and and you know, become a fan. Why not?
I respect it. Nick Foles, U of A, got to see him in college down in Tucson.
Okay.
But that was crazy. I like that story because it's kind of a redemption arc for the Eagles, where they have shown their light back onto you after this point of having success, and you reinvigorating with that fandom from your youth.
And it's funny how when your perspective changes, you look at every little thing differently.
Yes.
Like in the past, if I was watching the news and they're like, an Eagles fan climbed a telephone pole and fell off and paralyzed a police horse, I would be like, just why? Look at these fucking clowns. Like, can't give them anything nice. Now I'm just like, dude, that's
my fucking city.
Like, objectively, that's really funny.
Incredible.
That is great. That is great. I mean, I want that level of fandom. Arizona sports just has been not good in the same way. But I would love to just see something like that happen once in my life from the place that I came from. Be like, those are my fucking guys, right?
Yeah, now. I mean, you guys had a pretty good. I went out there for the NLCS 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when the Phillies were out there, and you guys went to the World Series.
Beat
my guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was
counts for something.
You're gonna hate me for saying this. Unfortunately, I'm a Dodger fan, but had to connect with my father somehow. But
wait a minute. I'm just doing a little bit of mental math here.
Suns, Cardinals, Dodgers.
And the University of Alabama.
No, not University. We're ASU, Arizona State University. Oh, University of Arizona. That's where I saw
okay, gotcha.
U of A, yeah,
gotcha.
Tucson, sorry.
Okay, yeah, for a minute I was
I'm also Dodgers, Lakers, Patriots. Did you know this?
No, this is what?
Yeah. I went to school in Boston. And they won 3 years. I saw Tom Brady with the trophy. I partied. I went into the Boston Common.
Yes.
Although I picked them when I was a child, and I was full bandwagon. But I think when you're 7, you can be full bandwagon.
Yeah, but then you grow up.
And then I went to college, and then I went in Boston.
It doesn't. I don't care.
There's no LA team.
No.
I grew up with no LA team. I picked the team that was winning when I was 7, and then I lived in the city that they played in for 4 years. I think that
you should have bandwagoned LAFD this year.
When I was in 6th grade, I had a Dallas Cowboys starter jacket because everybody wore the starter jackets and they were the best team and they had Aikman and Emmitt Smith and, you know. And then I stopped being 12 and I was like, what a fucking disgusting period of your life. This is when I was like 14. I was like, what were you thinking? No, you have to grow up at some point. The only compelling argument in there is that there was no NFL team in LA.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So, although I feel like out here, especially as a Mexican, the Raiders thing.
My dad.
I thought that was like culturally.
I mean, basically all my teams come from my dad, and my dad switched football teams like 4 times. He was like a Jets fan because of Mark Sanchez. He was like a 49ers fan for a little bit.
Yeah,
he
was
like a Raiders. It was the weirdest shit. He never really had a football team either.
I don't have a spotless track record, you know, with my jumping on the Eagles kind of like later in life, but I do have some morals, and I think your dad is an awful person.
I think my dad just doesn't fuck with football and stuff. But Gabe, who do you think at the Super Bowl? Who do you think?
Because
Pat is thinking Eagles, right? I mean,
correct.
You got it. You got to roll with them. It's kind of this is going to be a close game, regardless as to how you chalk it up, because the Eagles have like the best defense in football right now. They have more talent than the Chiefs roster, but I feel like you can't pick against Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. A Chiefs three-peat, which, by the way, Pat Riley is trademarked. He's apparently going to get so much money if they win. So anything to fuel Pat Riley in Miami and their ability to have more stars come their way. But how about you, John? Who are you picking?
Well, I brought my Chiefs jersey. Right here on the podcast, I'm announcing we're going for the Chiefs this year.
All right. Okay.
Let's go Chiefs.
Let's go Chiefs.
Let's go Patrick Mahomes. My argument is I'm not super invested, but I just think the three-peat is the coolest thing to happen.
Yes.
I just think out of anything that could happen, a three-peat in my lifetime, I just feel like
never happened.
Never happened
in football before.
It's true.
It's so cool. I would love Saquon to win because I've been on this for weeks. I'm really sad they didn't let him go for the record.
He's 30 yards away from the all-time record, playoffs plus regular
So there
season.
you go. So he gets
He's
the
gonna hit
all-time
it.
record,
Yeah.
and then the Chiefs can get the three-peat, and we could have two cool things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm all about storylines. The three-peat is the coolest storyline. Give me the argument to why I should root for the Eagles, and maybe I'll take this. I'll take this Chiefs.
I'll give it to you from a narrative perspective.
Okay.
I just referenced a minute ago the Nick Foles game, and before I even said that, you were like, "Yeah, the Nick Foles game."
Yeah.
The Nick Foles game didn't hurt Tom Brady's legacy at all. Everybody knows that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. It didn't hurt Bill Belichick's legacy at all. But what it did was it made a lot of people happy and allowed it to be called the Nick Foles game. If let's say that had gone according to chalk and the Patriots won 34-20.
Yeah.
Would anybody even remember that the game happened?
Well, that would have been a Patriots three-peat then. So I think yes.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Patriots three-peat would have been different. But anyway, I do see the point.
I just haven't we had enough of this? Haven't we had enough?
So I'm going to say this. When your counter narrative to three-peat isn't this too much? Not a great narrative.
I didn't expect because look, we live in a world, and I understand that the Eagles are not the most popular team. I totally get that. But I think America collectively is sick of the Chiefs. So regardless of what your takes were today, I'm flabbergasted that your take is we are actively rooting for the Chiefs because we think it would be cool if they won. We're not Chiefs fans. We just think it would be cool if they won. You're the only two people on earth who are taking that stance. So I wasn't ready to defend this. I got nothing.
Very fair point. Yeah, we are probably the only
It'd
two
be
people
sick as hell, Pat.
Yeah.
This is so weird. This is so weird.
I didn't even think of that because I've been talking to John too much about it, where I'm also pilled on the three-peat.
I've convinced Gabe that the three-peat
is super cool.
I've been confused by the people who are like, no, I think it's cool that the richest guy on earth is taking lunches away from poor children, but this take is somehow even crazier. This is nuts.
Okay, touche. That is fair. That is fair. That is a good comp, by the way. I like that. Taking away poor kids' lunches is basically like rooting for the Chiefs. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm still rooting for the fucking Chiefs. All right, we're doubling down. That is very funny.
It's fair, and I will say, obviously, my perspective is skewed as a Philadelphia fan. But going back to what I said about LeBron and people not appreciating greats and everything like that, I do think it would be a shame if people got so caught up in the refs and everything that they didn't appreciate Patrick Mahomes for what he's doing and Andy Reid for what he's doing. Obviously, you only get so many times in a lifetime a chance to see a guy like a Brady or a Mahomes, and you could sit here and bitch about the Tuck rule and Deflategate or the referees with Mahomes, but don't let that kill the fact that you're watching something really cool and fun and special. And I hope he loses by 40 points.
Totally, though. It's you have to appreciate greatness while it's there because it does pass.
How do we feel about Trump going to the game? And I will say this:
is he gonna go?
He announced he's going to go.
I'm not shocked.
I'm a little bummed that it's he's first sitting president to ever go to a Super Bowl.
Really?
That's it?
Yeah, Trump, which I think is crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm bummed that it's Trump, but I had this take a couple of years ago where I was like, the president should be at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It should be. It's like the Roman Coliseum. You go to the Roman Coliseum, you go they're this is where the emperor would sit. It's not okay. Maybe not calling Trump the emperor, but but the president should be it's the biggest American sport.
I agree.
The biggest American game. The president should be presiding.
Presiding over it.
Yeah.
Thumbs up and thumbs down every call.
Yes, 100%.
Presiding over the.
I just feel like he should be there. And I am bummed that Trump is the first one to probably make this a tradition, I would assume.
I'm surprised too because I feel like it's the best way. This is one of the most patriotic experiences. This is what being an American is about.
Yeah.
Is the fucking Super Bowl, the advertising revenue, the beer drinking.
Yeah.
That's what America's all about. Okay.
Exactly.
Getting together over sports. So I I agree with you. It's interesting that this is the first time there's a sitting president here. We'll see if it continues forward. But yeah, we should put everyone on display.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's the first time because presidents have such a long history with the World Series.
Yes.
I mean, there's black and white footage of like, here's Warren G. Harding throwing out the first pitch and like Bush after 9/11 and all that kind of stuff.
FDR used to go like with polio. He'd come down to baseball games, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, I mean, the president should be there. Frankly, I like the gesture of the president showing up to the game more than the team going to the White House and the president having to pretend that he knows what the Florida Panthers are. Send him to the game.
Yes,
and get a couple shots of him enjoying it. That's way better to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then plus, next thing you know, NFL becomes the Department of Education tomorrow. So that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that aspect.
We need more children with CTE.
Yes. Whatever.
And then
CTE
he can have
stands
his
for.
own seat. He can have like a little king chair outside of
I do like the idea of presiding over the Super Bowl
because he's gonna be in a box.
Yeah, probably with Goodell.
He's gonna be like, oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
He's gonna be standing.
Yeah. No, sitting.
I'll sit.
Yeah.
Okay. They have chairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw. What do you think of Kelsey's response to the question about playing in front of the president? Considering he's dating Taylor Swift, who is like...
Honestly, can I be super honest?
fan.
And this is going to be maybe one of the biggest twists in FanDumb podcast history. The whole Chiefs thing was just because I had this ref jersey. And this was planned like maybe 5 minutes before the podcast.
I know.
But I am low-key like not... I am like low-key not like all up in the Chiefs because of their answers. I don't really fuck with that. I like that Jalen... They asked all of them.
Yeah.
And Travis was like, "Yeah,
it's an honor."
Yeah,
Didn't
and
he
like,
say that?
yeah, and I mean, first of all, like Taylor Swift, like, I mean, come on, girl,
Yeah.
you're with Travis. Donald Trump tweeted out, "I hate Taylor Swift," and then her boyfriend is like, "Yeah, I'm so honored that he's gonna watch me play football."
Travis probably told Trump to tweet that out. He's like, "God, she's really annoying me right now."
And then Mahomes is totally Trump trained for sure. His wife, and then Jalen gave a little. He was like, "I don't care."
Good.
He gave a little smirk.
I kind of, just for the patriotic effect, Philadelphia being one of the most patriotic cities in America.
Wow.
Obviously, you have founding fathers, you have like constitutional conventions hosted.
Yeah.
Philly was the capital,
the
at
birthplace
one point
of our
in time.
country. Yeah.
Yeah, the bell.
So yeah, the bell.
That.
So maybe if you are for patriotism, you do pull for the Eagles in this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Trump wants the Chiefs to win. You know that.
Yeah.
But Philadelphia was George Washington territory. So I guess it comes down to like, who do you like more, Donald Trump or George Washington?
Okay.
We should throw that up for the new Super Bowl. Donald Trump versus George Washington.
I mean, one of them owned slaves and one didn't.
Oh, that is also a good point.
So
Which one's which?
Yeah. No, this is
first and final president. So
this
that's
is
pretty good.
I was thinking I was thinking this is probably a bad narrative Super Bowl, but I think we've twisted it into a good narrative Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like literally just make everything, politicize everything. This is what we
sports
got to
fans
do.
love when you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the money that Pat Riley is going to make when Trump three-peats the
presidency.
I mean, that's going to be when he makes the money.
Honestly, shocked FDR didn't coin it back when he did it. Just fueling the Roosevelt funds. Man, oh man. So, I mean, are you actually picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl?
Honestly,
Commit to the bit.
I pick the Chiefs.
Yeah, I pick the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs are going to win. But now that we've talked it through, I'm going to be pulling through the Eagles in my heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little annoyed. I'm gonna be annoyed, but I mean, my take is let the Chiefs win, let them do the cool thing, and then let's open it up. You know what I mean? I think Travis Kelce's gonna be gone, and I think that other people are gonna win.
New senator from Missouri, Travis Kelce.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't be shocked if he ran after this.
Oh my God. Well, where does Taylor Swift live? He's gonna live with her.
Tennessee.
There's no way she's gonna
Nashville?
live in Missouri.
Nashville, I think.
Okay.
I have no idea. Yeah, we're going to dox Taylor Swift on this podcast. Any closing thoughts?
No.
Is it closing thoughts? Have we been going for an hour?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
how long have we been going for?
My Lenny Dykstra story is 48 minutes long. Sorry about that.
No, that was great.
We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
this is great. Okay, so I don't really have any closing thoughts. I
Neither
think
do I.
we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
And then Pat, any closing thoughts / do you have anything to plug? We're very popular and famous.
The Roast Battle League. You know, that's how I know John. I run that and do a lot of stuff with the Roast Battle. So check that out on YouTube. And also, I have a sports podcast. I did a sports podcast for many, many years with a good friend of mine who left LA and moved, and we kept doing it.
Yeah.
And we made no effort to promote it at any point. We did 250 episodes, and it was just an excuse for us to get on like FaceTime or whatever and talk once a week.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had a listener base of 40 people that never moved. We never put it on YouTube. It was audio only, and we strictly we just wanted to keep hanging out, basically. Yeah. But then I got real busy, so I was like, well, if we're going to do it, we got to put it on YouTube. Totally. And, you know, so we've relaunched under a different name. It's called Statement Game.
Okay.
And we record once a week and upload to YouTube. So, yeah, look for Statement Game, Pat Barker on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And one more time, thank you, Pat Barker, for coming out, doing this thing. It's been a ton of fun.
Thank you, Pat Barker.
Yeah. Give it up for Pat Barker. Thank you. And we will see you guys next week.